In a Sierra Nevada mining camp in 1851, two men bet on gold before sunrise. One takes a pick, hoping for $10 or $15 in a working day. The other lights a stove and charges for board and lodging every week. One needs a strike. The other needs full beds. Could a gold rush hotel make more than a miner? Let's open 3 ledgers, bad, normal, and strong, and find out. First, this is a reconstruction, not the rediscovery of one perfect account book. No complete annual ledger survives for the exact hotel in this story. We are building a plausible 20-bed business from mining camp diaries, travel accounts, government records, and assumptions we can change. When a source gives us a price, we use it. When several sources define a range, we show the range. When the record is silent, on annual occupancy, for example, we label the number as an assumption. The comparison also has to be fair. Hotel profit and mining income are both measured before personal living expenses. We will not charge the miner for dinner while pretending the hotel keeper never had to eat. And every figure stays in 1851 and 1852 dollars. Both men lived in the same expensive world. We do not need a dramatic modern conversion to compare them. Forget the grand lobby and the quiet room at the end of a carpeted hall. In a Sierra mining camp, a hotel could be a rough plank building, a frame partly covered in canvas, or a few public rooms and sleeping spaces built as fast as materials allowed. Its commercial center was not a reception desk. It was the dining table. Contemporary observers described these businesses as depending mainly on long-term boarders. Travelers might buy one meal or one night's shelter, but the steady customers stayed for days or weeks and paid on a weekly rhythm. That rhythm matters. A bed sold once is a transaction. A miner paying again next Monday is a revenue stream. Our model has 20 beds. That number does not come from a surviving floor plan. It is a modest research scale. One boarding house at Hangtown served 40 to 50 people at each meal. Another mining camp hotel served 60 to 70 people at one lunch. Meal counts are not bed counts, but they show that 20 beds would not be an extraordinary operation. At Long Bar on the Yuba River, merchant Stephen Chapin David recording a moment when his store was full of boarders and lodgers. Full demand could happen. That single entry cannot tell us how often it happened. So capacity stays at 20 beds while average occupancy changes. 50% in a bad year, 70% in a normal year, and 85% in a strong one. Those percentages are not hidden historical facts. They are the 3 questions we are asking the evidence. The hotel's customer earned an unstable living. A miner might return with $10 or $15 in gold dust after a productive day. He might also lose working time to snow, bad water, sickness, broken tools, a poor claim, or the fact that somebody else reached the better ground first. Whatever the claim produced, he still needed food and somewhere to put his blanket. If he wanted to keep mining, somebody else had to find flour, haul pork, light fires, carry water, and turn supplies into meals. The hotel sold that time back to him. At Long Bar in March 1851, David recorded board at $12 per person per week and lodging at $2.50. An earlier entry put board at $11. J.D. Borthwick later described mining camp board at roughly $12 to $15 per week, with single meals at $1 to $1.50. That gives the hotel 3 ways to get paid: weekly board, weekly lodging, and single meals for travelers or miners living elsewhere. Our scenarios assume only 4, 10, or 15 outside meals per day, far below the spectacular lunch crowds in contemporary accounts. On paper, this is the hotel's attraction. It does not need to discover gold. It collects smaller payments from many people who are trying. But every meal creates purchasing, freight, fuel, and labor. Every occupied bed creates cleaning, wear, and the risk of unpaid credit. And high demand attracts competition. By 1853, Prairie City had 10 hotels and boarding houses. That later count stays outside our ledger, but it shows how quickly a promising market could crowd itself. The keeper was not standing safely outside the gold rush. He was making a different bet on it. Before collecting one weekly payment, the owner needs a building, beds, tables, cookware, a stove, lighting, storage, cleaning supplies, and enough stock to feed guests before their money comes in. This is the weakest part of the surviving record. We do not have a complete invoice for a 20-bed hotel at Long Bar. We do have a foothill benchmark. In 1852, one rough wooden room measuring 18 by 12 feet cost about $250 to build. Scale that construction rate to a simple building of roughly 700 square feet. Then add 20 basic sleeping places, kitchen equipment, furniture, and opening stock. The resulting model range is about $1,200 to $2,500. The bad year hotel starts at the expensive end, $2,500. The normal case uses $1,700. The strong case uses $1,200. These are estimates, not quotations from a lost contractor's bill. This is where operating profit and first-year cash separate. For an established hotel, we spread the starting cost across 3 years to estimate stable owner profit. In year 1, however, the owner must find the entire amount. A business can be profitable after opening and still leave its owner short of cash while it is being built. Each scenario will therefore produce 2 hotel results: stable profit after a 3-year capital allowance, and first-year cash after paying the full startup cost. Now the doors can open. Start with the bad year. Half of the 20 beds are occupied on average. 10 boarders pay $11 each week for food and service, producing $5,720 over 52 weeks. Their beds add $1,300. 4 outside meals per day, sold for $1 across a 360-day operating year, add $1,440. Total revenue, $8,460. In the normal year, 14 beds are occupied. Board rises to $12 per week. Lodging remains $2.50, and 10 outside customers buy a $1.25 meal each day. Board contributes $8,736. Lodging adds $1,820. Outside meals add $4,500. Total revenue, $15,056. In the strong year, 17 beds are occupied. Board reaches the documented upper range of $15 per week. Lodging still stays at $2.50 because there is no evidence for inventing a higher room price. 15 outside meals sell for $1.50 each day. That produces $13,260 from board, $2,210 from beds, and $8,100 from outside meals. Total revenue, $23,570. The strong hotel brings in almost 3 times the revenue of the weak one without adding a bed. More customers push more money through the same building. But revenue is the easiest number in a business to admire, and the most dangerous one to mistake for income. The guests are not eating arithmetic. They are eating food that has to reach the camp. David's Long Bar accounts make the supply problem visible. Salt pork and hard bread appear at 19 cents per pound. Potatoes cost 21 cents. Sugar was 28 cents. Coffee, 50 cents. And butter, 75 cents. Goods moving from Marysville to Long Bar then carried another 3 cents per pound for the last stage of transportation. 3 cents sounds small until it is attached to every pound, every day, for every occupied bed. We do not have a complete grocery book showing exactly what each guest consumed. Instead, the model applies a food cost range to board and meal revenue. 48% in the bad year, 40% in the normal year, and 35% in the strong one. It then adds the documented freight rate to an assumed weight of supplies. In the normal case, that means 2 pounds per occupied bed day and 0.7 of a pound per outside meal. The freight price is historical evidence. The weight is a model input. In the normal year, food consumes about $5,294. The final haul into camp adds roughly $378, and that is a normal supply year. Borthwick described winter flour at $1 per pound in Nevada. With prices 3 or 4 times higher deeper in the mountains, we do not hide that disaster price inside the normal rate. We save it for the risk the owner could not control. First, the hotel still has to pay people. At Long Bar, a hotel cook was paid $50 a month. In a foothill courts camp near Auburn, a housekeeper received $100 a month plus board.
Together, those wages anchored the normal labor budget at $1,800 per year. The bad year carries $2,400 of hired labor. The strong year uses $1,200. That low strong year figure matters. This is not a passive investment. The optimistic case assumes the owner and household perform more of the work and buy more efficiently. Paying market wages to replace that labor removes much of the apparent profit. Then come the quieter costs. The normal model allows $300 for the site, about $400 for fuel, lighting, and cleaning tied to occupied beds, and roughly $750 for maintenance. These are explicit assumptions because no complete long bar account survives for them. Add food, freight, hired labor, the site, fuel, cleaning, and maintenance. The normal hotel has spent almost $9,000 before making any allowance for catastrophe. The building does not collect rent by itself. The owner is converting supplies and labor into weekly payments, and that system can fail.
The hotel's apparent advantage is stability. A miner can miss gold, a boarding house can collect every week. But repeatable revenue is not the same as safety. In October 1850, the Longbar Diary recorded that the previous operators of a hotel, Dill and Brown, had failed. The entry does not tell us their losses or every cause. It proves something narrower and more important. A mining camp hotel could go out of business while miners still needed food and shelter. Supply was one threat. If snow or damaged roads delayed flour, the keeper could not simply stop feeding boarders. He had to buy at the new price, reduce portions, raise rates, extend credit, or lose customers. Then there was physical destruction. The best documented disasters come from San Francisco and Sacramento, not Longbar, so we do not pretend they happened to this hotel. They show the size of the possible loss. In the San Francisco fire of June 1851, contemporary testimony described about 1,500 buildings destroyed, roughly $4 million in damage, and no insurance. The converted ship Niantic, used as a hotel and commercial property, burned to the waterline in another 1851 fire. Sacramento's Eagle Theater was a larger and very different business, but its history shows how fast frontier capital could disappear. More than $30,000 to build, 4 bankruptcies in less than 3 months, and a flood that left little more than part of the frame. These cases establish severity. They do not give us an annual probability for a 20-bed Sierra hotel, so disaster frequency enters the model only as a stress test. The bad year uses a 15% chance of a major loss and 30 days of interruption. The normal year uses 8% and 14 days. The strong year uses 3% and 7 days.
Those probabilities are assumptions. Their job is not to claim that 8% of hotels burned. Their job is to stop the ledger from treating fire, flood, and closure as somebody else's problem. The miner can work all season and find little. The hotel owner can build a profitable operation and lose the asset that makes the profit possible. Now we can open all 3 ledgers. The bad hotel averages 10 occupied beds, charges the lower board rate, sells 4 outside meals per day, and carries the highest food, labor, maintenance, and disaster assumptions. Its $8,460 in revenue almost disappears. Before recovering construction cost, the hotel keeps only $161. Spread the $2,500 startup cost across 3 years, and stable owner profit becomes negative $672 in the first year. When the full startup cost has to be paid, cash falls to negative $2,339. The miner earns $8 across 150 effective working days, then spends $100 on tools and other occupational costs. His net occupational income is $1,100. Bad year verdict. The hotel trails the miner by $1,772. The hotel did not fail because nobody paid. Moderate revenue could not carry a costly operation through weak occupancy and high risk. The normal hotel averages 14 occupied beds, charges $12 for weekly board, sells 10 outside meals per day, and uses the middle assumptions for food, labor, maintenance, and disruption. Revenue reaches $15,056. After operating costs and the disaster allowance, the business produces $5,945 before capital recovery. Subtract 1/3 of the $1,700 startup cost, and stable owner profit is $5,378. If the full startup cost is paid in year 1, cash remaining is $4,245. The normal miner earns $12.50 across 200 working days and pays $150 in occupational costs. His result is $2,350. Normal year verdict: the hotel finishes $3,028 ahead. This is the first ledger that answers the title with a yes. Not because of one extraordinary day, but because ordinary payments repeat. The Strong Hotel averages 17 occupied beds, charges $15 for board, sells 15 outside meals per day, and combines efficient purchasing with more owner labor and less disruption. Revenue reaches $23,570. Operating profit before capital recovery is $13,223. After the 3-year allowance on a $1,200 startup cost, stable owner profit is $12,823. First-year cash is $12,023. The strong miner earns $17.50 across 250 working days, then pays $250 in occupational costs. His result is $4,125. Strong year verdict: the hotel finishes $8,698 ahead. That is a powerful result. It is also a scenario, not a measured average. 17 occupied beds, strong prices, efficient purchasing, low hired labor, and limited disruption all have to occur together. Before declaring the keeper the winner, check the comparison. Mining income is not a salary. The daily figures become annual income only after we assume 150, 200, or 250 effective working days. Weather, water, health, claim quality, and season length could change that number. The miner's occupational costs are also simplified. The model allows $100 to $250 for tools, water rights, claim costs, and related expenses. Those are assumptions, not a complete miner's account. Most importantly, the main comparison excludes personal living costs on both sides. At the long bar prices in our evidence, a full year of $12 board plus $2.50 lodging would cost $754. We show that separately. Subtracting it from the miner while ignoring the keeper's own food and shelter would make the contest unfair. So, the result remains. In the bad year, the miner leads by $1,772. In the normal year, the hotel leads by $3,028. In the strong year, the hotel leads by $8,698. The hotel wins 2 ledgers. But how far can the assumptions move before that answer flips? Start with occupancy. Keep every normal year input the same, including 10 outside meals per day, and reduce the occupied beds. At 30% occupancy, the hotel falls $284 behind the miner. At 40%, it moves $544 ahead. The breakpoint inside this model is about 33.4% occupancy. That is not a historical benchmark. It is the answer for this 20-bed business while outside meal traffic stays fixed. Next, raise food cost. At a 60% food cost rate, the hotel still leads by $381. At 65%, it falls $281 behind. The breakpoint is about 62.9%. A supply shock does not need to empty the beds. It can reverse the result by making every occupied bed more expensive to serve. Finally, increase hired labor. The normal model uses $1,800 per year. Raise that to $4,800 and the hotel leads by only $28. At roughly $4,828, the advantage disappears. That threshold exposes what the profit number contains, the owner's own work. If the keeper must pay other people to replace more of that labor, the business becomes less valuable to the keeper. Occupancy, food, and labor break the same illusion in 3 different ways. Weekly revenue may repeat. The margin underneath it is never guaranteed. Yes, but only under the right conditions. In a weak year, the miner earns more and the hotel loses money. In a normal or strong year, the hotel can pull ahead because it collects repeated payments from many people instead of depending on one claim. But that advantage requires occupied beds, controlled food costs, a great deal of owner labor, and an asset that survives the boomtown around it. This ledger cannot tell us what hotels usually earned. The surviving record does not provide the annual occupancy, complete operating account, or local disaster frequency needed to make that claim. What it does show is a credible path. The miner was betting on the ground. The hotel keeper was betting that miners would keep arriving, keep eating, keep paying, and that the building would still be standing next week. Next, we open a business built on secrets, furnaces, and skilled labor, Venice's glass empire.